Hey, everybody out there in podcast land. This is Severen Henderson, host of Firecast. That's the new name for the podcast, formerly known as Department 3C Presents a Podcast. And Department 3C Presents a Podcast connected to Fire. Now it's just Firecast, presented by Department 3C. We had that contest, and that was the winner. Anyway, here to tell you about, just give you some notes about an episode that we have coming up today. First of the year, we haven't had a chance to get into the studio and get going. This was my first time getting in, so I had a guest. I have one of my good buddies that I used to work at the same firehouse with, Dekalb Walcott, and he brought his wife and his stepdaughter. They're going to talk about endometriosis on the episode. It's a disease that I didn't know a lot about. I generally, at least heard, I have heard of it, but I didn't know how in depth it went. So they give their experiences with the disease, how it goes, how it's affecting their lives and things like that. We also have some information inside of the podcast where you can donate to the causes, because currently there is no cure. So we just want to spread some information, let you know about things that are going on out there, and hopefully you can get a chance to donate. I'll give the website real quick, and then, like I said, inside the podcast again, we give it again, but the website is www.endometriosisassociation.org. To spell it out, it's www.endometriosis.org, and you can find out more information about the disease. But that's what this episode is about, and I hope you enjoy it. As always, if you like the episode, please offer us some feedback. If you don't like the episode, offer us some feedback. Our email address is info@department3c.com. You can catch us at the website, department3c.com. You can find me on most socials at department3c.com. And personally, you can connect with me at I am Sevy on most socials. That's just @IAMSEVY. All my friends and family, call me Sevy. You can call me Sevy too. Without further ado, we get to the episode. Hello, everyone out there in podcast land. This is your host, Severen Henderson, back again with, I think, the second episode of the year of Department 3C Presents Firecast. Got a new name, a new podcast name. That's pretty cool, huh? You like that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And today we're going to have a discussion about endometriosis. It's the month of March currently, and that's Endometriosis Awareness Month. And I have one of my good buddies here. He's been on the show before, Dekalb Walcott. Dekalb.
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
How are you today?
We're all right.
Since I keep messing up the names, I'm going to let you do the introduction of the names, just to kind of take me off the hook.
Okay. Well, for Endometriosis Awareness Month, I'm bringing in my wife, Catiria Walcott Rosario, and my lovely daughter, Xianili Garcia.
Hello.
And they're going to pretty much be sharing their experiences with endometriosis. And might I add, it's a very, I wouldn't say rare, more and more people are coming out with it, but a lot of people, including doctors and healthcare workers, don't know, about it and how to deal with it, because there's not a cure for it. So, hopefully the stories from my wife, daughter, and even me, for the husbands out there who have wives with endo, it'll help you guys, help us all be able to push forward and, maybe one day finding a cure and how to, deal with this so it doesn't have as bad of an impact as it seems to have been having.
Okay, that sounds excellent. So my experience with the subject, I even talk about how the podcast came about. I'm always looking for content. I'm always looking to talk with people, and Dekalb hit me up. He said, "Hey, you got anything going on podcast wise?" I'm like, "Nah, not really. Why? What you got?" He said, "Well, my wife, my daughter, it's March, it's Endometriosis Awareness Month, and I would like to come on and talk about it." And he got them to both come on and talk about it. So, without more from us two guys, ladies, I'll start with Mom first. Is that cool? Okay. So, I'm super layman. I don't even know really what endometriosis is. So can you explain to me and the audience what exactly it is?
Endometriosis is a tissue that grows outside a female's or a uterus, and it causes cysts, fibroids, tumors, those type of things. It's like a invisible illness, you could say, and it's very painful.
Oh, okay.
Usually it comes out when we have our menstrual cycle. At an early age. I was diagnosed at 10 years old, and so was my daughter as well. It's hereditary, so.
Okay. So it's a hereditary disease that comes around menstrual cycle. So I take it that it's woman only. It doesn't affect men at all?
It affects some men, yes.
It affects some men?
Yes.
In the prostate.
In the prostate, okay, because I was going to ask, how does it affect men and where?
Yes, the prostate. Yes.
Prostate, okay. So all the more reason for us to take good care of ourselves, make sure we go to get those regular doctor's appointments, and like I said, make sure that we're taking care of ourselves at all times, right?
Yes.
So 10 and 10, you were diagnosed with it at 10. Your daughter is diagnosed with it at 10. Still stick with you, Mom. Tell me, like, what happened, kind of the story that led up to the diagnosis at 10 years old.
Okay. When I got my menstrual cycle, I would get excruciating pain. Like, I couldn't get up from the bed. I couldn't walk. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't function at all. So it was already known because I had an aunt that already had endometriosis. So my family was aware of it. So my mom, since she knew about it, because that was her sister that had it, and we went to a bunch of gynos to check and see if I had it. And a lot of the gynos that we went to, they didn't even know what endometriosis was. Okay. So there were some gynos that we had to explain to them what endometriosis was, because they never heard of it. And then we went to the one that was taking care of my aunt, and he knew about it because he dealt with my aunt. So that's when he did all the tests, ultrasounds, MRIs, like name it. He did it, and that's how I got diagnosed.
Okay, that's how you got. I understand that. Okay, yeah. So another question that I have behind it: your mother already knew about it, kind of knew it was coming up from the hereditary thing. Did your mother have any experience or diagnosis with the disease as well?
No, my mom. No, it's just one of her sisters. She had. I don't remember how many sisters she has. So many brothers and sisters. They're all 15 all together. Only one of them was diagnosed with endo, and she had stage 4 of endometriosis, where she was open up from top to bottom to sideways, stomach, everywhere. Like, it was bad.
Okay, so you kind of brought another question to light. You said stage 4, so there's different stages of the disease.
There's 4 stages of endometriosis. 4 is like the worst one.
Okay, yeah, like the cancer is the same type of deal.
Correct.
So like Dekalb was saying in the beginning, there's no real cure that we know about.
Right.
What about treatment wise? What treatments are available to people with endometriosis?
They start with birth controls. They do the shots. It's called Lupron. There's some new ones called oral something. I forgot the name.
Is that the Oura Ring?
They do the Uva Ring. Supposed to work, but I mean, most of those don't really help. And like, they give you pain medication like tramadol, ibuprofen, those type of medications. And if it depends on the stage of endometriosis that you have, some of them work, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the female. as well, her body and how it goes, really.
So, prevention-wise, it doesn't really sound like it's anything to prevent it, just the fact that it being hereditary and everything else. So it kind of either it's going to come and get you, hit you, or it's not, right?
Yeah.
I know I asked about treatment and they give you the pain pills. What do you think makes it just any little bit better? What helps
The
at
surgeries.
all? Okay.
Like when they go in and take out where the endo is at. I mean, sometimes, like, once they take it out, it's like the root. And once they take it out, it comes back with a vengeance, where it's like it starts growing even more because it's like you pissed it off, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I've had 17 surgeries
17?
due to endo, yes.
Wow. That is 17 too many for that. So we were talking about cure-wise. Are there any roads or paths that are going towards a cure? Like, are there any research, any studies, anything that we should know or don't know, or anything going towards that?
They've been doing a research now, and since a lot of females are coming out with the endo, so some people are talking about it and the symptoms, and like certain doctors don't know like all the symptoms, but because they don't have to go through, but us as females that have endo, we know like there's other new symptoms, like can
you give me some of them?
Just like our organs get stuck together and it's very dangerous. We bleed through the insides, where it's been very dangerous. A lot of females have died from complications due to endo.
That was my next question. Okay.
Yes. And some of them have died, but because of suicide, because the pain is
so bad. Yeah.
And like even when you go to the ER, it's like they don't understand, and they don't they just brush it off like, oh, you just want to get pain medications
meds,
and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to deal with that, but if you have support and friends, family that support you, that helps.
Okay.
It really does.
That's what I was looking for. I was kind of fishing for the support answer, because that'll bring, before we get to Dekalb, one more time with the name.
Xianili.
Xianili. I'm going to try. My name is Severen. I get mad when people call me Severance.
One thing that everybody at this table, we all got unique names that people screw up time and time again. So I'm trying my hardest. So how old are you right now?
I am 14.
14, okay. So 4 years with the diagnosis. From a young person's standpoint, can you kind of give me what you feel, what you think, just anything that you can?
Well, I don't have much to add. I don't know. It's I feel I don't know.
It's okay.
It's okay. Well, how about this? Seeing your mother go through kind of what she has gone through, and then I remember me and Dekalb worked together around the same time everything was going on with you. He was distraught and telling me about not everything, not like disclosing the whole family secrets, but he just was like, hey, I got some stuff going on at home. It's not what's up. It's not, it's just I gotta do a little bit more.
When I first got to 96, Kathy had her 16th surgery.
Yep.
And then shortly after, she had got diagnosed. So.
Yep, that's what I remember. So, you said, so pain-wise, and like I said, seeing your mother go through, I'm sure you're part of that support system as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, support-wise, what you do for your mother. How about that?
Well, I try my best to help around the house and stuff. So she's very hardworking and overdoes herself a lot. So I try my best to help her out as much as I can so she can get rest.
Okay, there you go. See, that's what's up. That's a whole bunch to add, because your mother says she needs the support and you're providing the support, and so that's what's up. That's what I like to hear. So now, how about grades in school? How you doing in school?
It doesn't affect my grades that much, but I do miss like a lot of school days. So
Okay.
I have like a lot of work to like catch up on.
Okay. So it just makes you have to be smarter.
Yeah.
I'm with that. That's good. You know, you gotta take those lemons, turn them into lemonade. Just gotta do the work a little bit quicker. So that sounds like you handling it and yourself very well so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine, I guess.
Okay. Well, like I said, it looks like you have a great example to look to kind of help you out with everything. So thank you. I'm sure your mother says thank you to you all the time, but I'm just saying thank you because it's always great to see good kids, you know. All too often we have kids that are little a-holes, and you're not. So
At all.
That's a beautiful, wonderful thing. So
That's all thanks to her mother.
So you don't got nothing to do with that?
Look, let me tell you something.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm not taking any of the credit too much because most of that stuff was etched in stone because of who her mom is. Mm-hmm. Like, her mother taught me about just having patience, period, with, kids and just anything. So when it came down to certain things that I didn't understand about, her or, our daughter, everything that she'd show me had to come into play. So whenever my daughter gets down or discouraged, I'm always using her mother as a reference point instead of me.
Right.
Because honestly speaking, me being a person that I'm not sick, I'm very healthy, thankfully. Got all my teeth. I don't have any defects other than no hair.
Now nobody's missing teeth in here, just to let y'all know. I mean, we're not on video, so everybody has their teeth, right?
Right, okay. But everybody ain't well, though. That's the thing.
No, that's the thing. That's why we're here. That's what we're talking about. So, yeah, I get you.
Everything pretty much, for me, went the way it was supposed to go. Like, from the last podcast, just me having, a career-oriented father, which I followed his footsteps. I was always using him as a reference point. He was an older man, so I looked up to him. And then in this case, I'm seeing the female version of it.
Yeah, the hard working. Yeah.
Because the attachment I've always noticed my daughter has with her mother, it's huge. And nobody can beat that. I think surprisingly, she was attached to me just as much because it got to the point where I couldn't leave out of the house or anywhere without her wanting to follow behind me. When I would leave for work, she would always wear my White Sox hats around the house until I came back.
That's cool.
So even in doctor's appointments, where it'd be times where instead of her wanting her mom, she would want me to go in with her, but I was just there for moral support, emotional support. But overall, when it comes to the endometriosis, I have nothing to teach because I'm a student to this as well.
Okay, well, student, tell us some of what you've learned so far and what you've experienced, and how can, like your wife said, support is huge. How do you as a husband support?
Basically, I do. Anytime I see an opening, I always take it. Like from the very beginning, when she first told me what it was, I noticed there, of course, was a lot of bleeding from the vaginal area, if we're going to be real.
Yeah.
Of course, in our line of work, we see that a lot, but it wasn't for the exact same reasons that we see out in the field. So I would ask her, like, hey, how often does this happen? What else happens to you when you start to have what you call flare-ups? She would tell me that her belly would swell a little bit, giving off that appearance that she may be pregnant. She'd be out of breath just from walking from one end to the next. Just a lot of pain in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
All that and then some. But to be quite honest, for the first 2 years we dated, she had mild cases, but it didn't really start to get bad until I say maybe the second year.
Okay.
And of course, for people who don't know us, we have a lot of dogs.
Okay.
And our oldest dog, he's a handful.
Okay.
So when we were living in an apartment at the time, so when I wasn't home, she'd have to walk him. And that would be physically draining because he's a pit and he will drag her all over.
I can only imagine.
So in that case, I had to act fast. I had to stopped delaying, and I had to go buy a house.
Yeah.
I ended up buying a house. That was when I moved 2 minutes away from 96 because, that was the best deal I could afford at the time. But because of the fact that I needed for her to not have to overextend herself while I was gone.
Yeah, up and down stairs.
Yeah.
Apartment living a lot of times is a lot rougher than house living.
Definitely.
I mean, depending on what you do. And then the fact that having animals, just contributes to that. So,
yeah,
very understandable. How you feel about the dogs?
They can be a handful, from seeing my mom and my stepdad deal with them. Mm-hmm. But to me, they're cute. They're nice.
They're cute and they're nice.
I love
them. And they pets?
Some of them are.
Okay.
Not all.
They cute when they puppies, like babies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you're so cute. And then they grow up and they just bad. Like, So
they eventually learn it. They learn the program. They start to learn how to take care of themselves as much as they can.
Okay,
right. Other than the feeding and the bathroom part, but other than that,
Yeah, and it's not like they're going to. Well, I was gonna say opening up doors on their own, but they do open up doors on their own.
Yeah, I showed you the video of my oldest one doing
exactly. Not for the way you want them to open up doors on their own, but
right. Well, he does actually. He won't do it unless I tell him to.
Okay.
So he does it on command. So. That's one of the biggest things that my wife's always told me, because I used to flip out every time she'd be like, she wanted another dog. I was like, dude, what in the hell?
Yeah.
But then one day she just broke down to me that it was like therapy for her, because going back to the support part, we tried having a kid, but we couldn't because of the level of the endometriosis. And it left us both feeling down in the dumps about it, but I had to put my feelings to the side because I had to make sure she was all right.
Right.
Because she's always mentioned she wanted, more kids. Not that I didn't want kids, but it was like that. If it wasn't in the cards for me, it wasn't in the cards. But her being the person that she was, I was like, this is the person I want to have a kid with. And then now that I've decided, okay, it's time. Now I can't do it. So when I understood, I put myself in her shoes as much as I could. It was like, she does really love these animals. She loves these dogs.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that's what gives her the purpose. It's like taking care of a kid like she always wanted. Because every animal, every child basically gets attached to her instantly. It's like, how they say dogs and kids can see who's got good and bad intentions and all that stuff.
Yep.
It's like they take a look at her and my daughter, they see angels' wings and a halo when they see those two.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit more. As far as the support, and we'll get more into support, but how you feel about the animals? How you feel about the dogs? He described it, but that's from his point of view. I want to hear from you. How do you feel?
Well, like you've mentioned before, they are therapy. Like if I'm in excruciating pain, they do help with try to distract my mind off the pain. And it's like they know when I'm in pain, so they always buy me. They make sure, especially the oldest, when she gets pains or if she's sick, he's always by her. He's not allowed to go upstairs, but he goes halfway, but he's constantly always checking up on her, making sure she's okay or, she's not in pain or anything like that. So all our dogs have been very helpful with that. What else can I say about it?
Never a dull moment.
Yeah, that's true. They're always doing something. Each of them have their own character. And with the, having kids, it was already hard for me to get pregnant with her. And I was high risk already. And she was born a preemie.
Okay.
She was born at 27 weeks.
Okay.
And she only weighed 2 pounds.
Oh.
So she was in a NICU for I want to say 2-3 months.
Yeah.
She was in a NICU.
Very, very stressful.
Yes. So, it was kind of hard. And then even before I even got pregnant with her, doctors were telling my parents at 16 years old that if I wanted to have kids due to my endo, it would have to be right there at 16 years old.
Oh,
so my parents, me being 16, it's kind of young to, go and try to have a kid.
Yeah.
And they had to make that hard decision. And be like, okay, well, we're gonna, allow it. But because of her situation, since they knew I've always wanted to have kids, I've always took care of everybody's kids and, did well with them. I loved being around because I also wanted to be a teacher, but due to the endo, I had to put it to the side and was not able to become a teacher. I went to college, I did all that stuff, but every surgery that I've had, it always was felt like through my finals, and no college is gonna accept that, and all the absence, even with her situation right now with always being absent. But thank God, and luckily her school understands, and I take the papers, doctors, all that stuff. So luckily they understand her situation and they accept it. And she has a 504 and everything at school, so that helps a lot as well.
Okay, well, I'm glad the animals help out a lot. I'm glad your family is helping out a ton. That's a beautiful thing to hear. That's part of the reason of having family. And then us with this job, we have an extended family that help us out that much more for certain things. So, like I said, that's a beautiful thing to hear. As far as you've had 17 surgeries, and like I said, that's 17 way too many. And it doesn't seem like anything that you would be able to get used to, but is there any part of it that is familiar when it's time for a surgery?
Yeah, I usually know already. I've studied my body so well where I would tell him, I know the doctors are going to tell me this. And he's like, how do you know? I was like, I've been through this so many times. So it's I know when I have a cyst. I know when I have fibroids. I know when the endo is back and my organs are stuck together. I know all that stuff because I feel it all the time. And, the pain gets worse and worse every time. So every time I get surgery, it's the endo. And then that's another thing, the endo grows elsewhere, in my kidneys, heart, brain, lungs, name it. Every part of your organ, endo could grow in.
Really?
Yeah, and it makes it harder, especially fatigue is the main reason, because endo is in the lungs.
Lungs, yeah, because especially if it's taking away some of that spongy lung area, I can see it being difficult to breathe.
Yes.
I asked this before, but I want to kind of ask it in a different way. Prevention-wise, I know you say it's nothing really you can do, but is there anything that you've noticed that you may do or somebody does do that causes a flare up? A lot of times when you input stuff into your body, then it comes out a certain way. I know with people that got gluten allergies, they can't eat flour and stuff like that.
Dairy, it's basically your diet. With endo, you have to eat a little healthier because that helps not to flare up, especially with the endo belly, because we get real swollen where everything we eat, if it flares it up, we get bloated really bad to where we look 5-6 months pregnant.
Yeah, like he was saying. Okay.
Right. So, it depends. It's your eating habits and the exercises as well, because due to endo, I try to go work out with him many times, but sometimes the next day I'll be in pain where I can't walk, I can't move, I can't do stuff, or I'm in excruciating pain, and he'd be like, no, and I'm like, no, I want to keep going, I don't want this, I don't want endo to stop me from doing exercise and be healthy. Yeah. But sometimes it does. Even when I eat healthy, sometimes it causes me pain as well. So it's okay, this is crazy. What else can I do to help my situation?
Yeah, that's important too, because cancer, say for instance, and then sometimes it just hits people out of people get lung cancer, never been around nothing, that got never smoked a cigarette, a cigar, never even been around smoking, get lung cancer. So it's just, and that can be hereditary as well. I have some family members that are going through some issues with cancer treatments right now. So I totally understand, and it just stinks. I can't think of any or worse. So speaking of that, I saw Dekalb got this new tattoo So, without the bad word, can you tell me, describe your tattoo for me?
All right, so basically, I have my knuckles. I tatted F-U-C-K endo on my knuckles.
Yeah.
Simply because of the fact that that phrase alone is how I feel every day when I wake up. You know, from when she wakes up, it's hard for her to move. She's in a lot of pain, can't get any sleep. You know, before she had her last surgery, she used to bleed heavily. I used to have to help take her to the bathroom every other night. It was so bad to the point where I was losing sleep to take care of her. And God forbid, my daughter ended up having any of her symptoms, and my wife couldn't do anything
for her. Yeah,
so
you're there to pick up.
And my wife, being who she is, like, you know, my daughter says, she's very hardworking. You know, so I'd have to snap out of whatever I was in and tell her, look, you lay down, I'll go deal with her. You know, and then the very day my daughter got diagnosed with endo, and she got her first flare up, like painful flare up in her belly. My wife, for the first time, I saw her lose her composure. And I had to tell her, hey, no, go to the other side of the room. You're scaring her. You know, you're scaring the kid. So I had to be the one that kind of, you know, hugged her and, you know, told her, hey, mama's going to be all right. You're going to be all right. Just, you know, we're going to try to see what we can do to get this fixed. And the whole time I'm thinking, you know, like any father, you know how you got a daughter. Yeah. So let's say if anyone or anything hurts your daughter, in particular, not to say your son's not important, but father-daughter relationships is huge.
Yep.
So if anything or anyone hurts your daughter,
you want to go hurt it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much how I felt. And I can't do that because this is something that even doctors don't have control over.
Right.
So I felt so helpless just watching them go where they're going. And it was just, you know, all this was because of endometriosis.
Yeah.
So that term F-endo was how I felt. I was like, you know what, I'm going to get this tattooed on my knuckles. My last tattoo I hadn't got since 2013.
Okay.
And then I just got this one because.
Nice long break.
Yeah. And then, but I felt like I needed to do it just to continuously find ways to show my support. And it was crazy because my daughter's reaction to it was she was a lot more reactive to it than I thought she'd be.
Okay. So, can you tell me what your reaction was to his tattoo?
Oh, well, I felt it was very nice. I was very, like, surprised by it.
So happy surprise, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I saw when he posted it. I'm like, and I, like I said, knew about the endo, but I didn't know the extent to what the disease involves or entails. So I get it. I'm with it. It's so the ribbon. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Is there a color behind this? Because I see y'all all got on yellow today.
That's the color.
Okay, so we're going to put some pictures up of the yellow. Y'all got on yellow kicks. And like I said, you got out the car. I saw a 4 on your back. I thought you had your new company on your back. But
no.
It's
just
Kobe.
Kobe.
Black and yellow. It's just Kobe. It's all good. I'm with that.
It's Kobe.
You got the yellow hat. Now, your shirt, what's your shirt say? Okay, Endo Warrior. Living with an invisible illness. Okay, well,
Mine.
Oh, you got. Oh, you got to take that one off.
And then show yours, boo.
Pause for the cure. Tell me about Pause for the Cure. Is that like they bring you cats instead of dogs? Just try and have something else to take care of.
No, it's just a shirt design.
Okay.
She just loves animals and it's
like
a cute
cats.
little kitten. So
okay, I'm with that. I'm all the way with that.
And of course,
and yours,
mine says
would not
endometriosis.
recommend.
1 star, would not recommend.
Yeah, we gonna take pictures of all that and put them up. Because like you said, it's something that kind of needs to get done. So speaking of that and speaking to that, is there like a not fund, but is there a place or a organization or anything that has like donations and awareness for endometriosis? Came prepared. I'm with that.
It's called Endometriosis Association.
Okay.
Like, people could donate there. And, like, there's different groups on Facebook of endometriosis and, like, support groups as well. And a lot of, people could look it up and they'll see, like, a lot of the females' stories with endo, that lives with endo.
Right. That's exactly what I was looking for. Let me give out this website. They're based in Milwaukee, but website is www.endometriosisassociation.org. That's ENDOMETRIOSISASSN.org. That's how you can get in contact with them. They have different ways that you can donate. You can get a free book or DVD. Dues are $100, which is nothing when it comes to trying to find something for this autoimmune disease. 1 year dues, 2 years, 3, 5. You can be an associate. You can just give money just to give money, and I'm sure that you can find all of that on the website. This, and then it's a nice long pamphlet. I'm glad I asked the right questions for you to bring this out, because I always kind of mess with my guests. I say, I really am into doing homework. So, like, we'll talk about a subject, then I'll go try and learn as much as I can about it. You brought the homework to me, so now I don't have to do as much. But that website, again, www.endometriosisassn.org. They also have on here, so you can email endo at the same thing, endometriosisassociation.org, Facebook /ENDOASSN, and we gave the website, have a phone number on here. Like I said, this particular pamphlet is based out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So we will put up all the information, about everything you can do to support, because it just seems like something that needs some more support behind, because I consider myself well versed in medical things, and this is a disease that I didn't know about until meeting you in the first place to even know about. So it feels like it needs to get talked about a bit more.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was wild because about a year or so ago, we had responded to a call, and it was, we thought it was a routine abdominal distress, but then the lady, the way she was describing her symptoms, and I looked at her and I said, "You wouldn't happen to have endometriosis, would you?" She looked at me. "You know what that is?" I said, "Yep, my wife's got it. So is my daughter."
Yeah.
And then, like, she let out, like, this big old sigh of relief, like, finally somebody understands. And I was like, oh, yeah, I definitely do get it. I definitely understand.
Yeah, that's
not as much as I would like, but.
No, I mean, nobody, wants to, but those times where you can use your sympathy and empathy to help a patient feel that much better, that's really makes a person's day. Another autoimmune disease that kind of sounds similar to is sickle cell, like with the pain and everything, and just kind of it's nothing we can do. We go to the hospital.
We are also diagnosed with sickle cell.
So you also
have to deal with that.
You also have sickle cell as well. See, I didn't even know that either. So just me.
That's another painful illness that's horrible to live with.
Me running my mouth got some good stuff to come out of it. So we'll put up information about that as well on the website once I get it going and have it all in order. So I've asked pretty much all that I can think. Are there any questions that you think I should ask, or something I should know that I haven't asked about?
Well, pretty much. I said she talked on behalf of, the women, and then, my daughter spoke on behalf of the kids. I just want to address for any husbands out there whose wife may have signs and symptoms of this, and whose wife may be going through this. I need I need the husbands to understand this is a very difficult disease for a woman to ever have to go through.
Right.
I know a lot of times it actually takes away the sex drive as well. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of marriages get destroyed because women may not be able to do certain things for her husband because of her endo.
Right.
You know, there's also going to be times where, you might have to get out of work just to rush her to the hospital.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm in a position where I'm literally right around the corner from where I live right around the corner from where I work. And if something was to happen, I'm actually probably the responding truck that can go there.
Yeah.
So even when I'm not home, I'm still home.
Yep.
And then also just one of the hardest things to remember is that sometimes when you see them with, let's say, certain looks on their faces, you know, it may not be you. It may just they wake up with that.
With the pain.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, it's been
not feeling right.
Yeah.
Especially after the surgeries and everything. Sounds like this woman knows her body better than anything. So it's a good thing at the same time. I mean, it's not good that it's happening to you, but the fact that you know what's going on is always a plus. You know what? I thought of a question when he was talking. He's describing what I think he's doing a great job describing what husbands should do. But what would you say that husbands, mates, anybody that you're in any type of relationship, your family, what is something your family or anybody could do to help support you more?
Understand the disease, the symptoms and stuff, so they're able to help. Like,
what would help look like to you? What's help?
Understanding
Okay.
what endometriosis is, because like I've mentioned, a lot of people don't know what endometriosis is, so they don't understand. They think either it's in our heads or I don't know, like we're making it up or faking it, or
not as big of a deal
like
as you make it out to be.
Right, it's not a huge deal.
I can't see that at all. No.
Right.
Okay, so like I said, it sounds like the CAP does that excellently.
Oh, yes.
The pups do that because they're so empathetic. They get right up under you and try and support you. I grew up with dogs, so I know how dogs act. They really have a great sense to them. I think we were talking about dogs on another podcast. We said we don't deserve dogs. So
right.
It's true. Like the fact that my oldest one, who's been around us for the longest, obviously, knows he's not, like my wife said, he's not allowed upstairs.
Yeah, but still going to check. Like, I know something's not right.
Like, if my daughter's sick, he'll go halfway to the middle landing and just lay there until she comes down. If my wife is sick, he lays at the bottom of the stairs and waits for her to come down. And just they behave better. Yeah, they behave better when they know she's not feeling well.
Say, let's take it easy on mom. Let's laugh.
Yeah, right. They really these fools really do talk to each other. I believe it because
take it easy.
Because it was just funny. One day we have cameras in the rooms with the dogs, and one day we were like checking on them. And Kathy clicks on the camera. And when she clicks on the camera, what do we see? The biggest dog we got staring right into the camera like he knows that we're watching
looking
him.
At him.
Right.
Say, let me put on this show for you real quick.
Sometimes we'll mess with them. We'll like do the little voice chat and we'll be like, Kane, Katana, what are y'all doing? And they'll look like, and I'll be like, yeah, that's right. I'm talking to you. And then they look to the stairs to see me if I'm coming down.
You'll have these dogs thinking they psychotic. They're going to be thinking they got voices in
No,
their
let me tell you
head.
what they do. When they hear that, they're like, he ain't in here, so we ain't listening. You just come over the mic, sit. Like, but they know
right.
if they don't and I come down the stairs, then, okay, it was him. So
They got them super noses, too.
Oh,
we used to have that program, the cancer dog thing, and just the guy trained the dogs to kind of sniff
I remember that.
into the bag. And I don't know how accurate, but I've signed up for it a few times just because, hey, why not try and find out? But it sounds like the same thing. They can sense and possibly smell what's going on. Dogs are Awesome. So.
Oh yeah, especially when trained and loved correctly.
Trained and loved correctly. Got it. So, with that being said, I'll let you guys get out of here. I really thank you for coming and talking about the subject. Again, is it anything that I missed?
Is there anything you want to say?
Anything you want to say?
I kind of want to add something for like
Sure.
any like teens out there that may be watching. I want to say that self-care is very important. Like, take care of yourself, know your limits, know your boundaries, know what you can and can't do during this. What else?
Menstrual cycle, if it's not painful, if you get a lot of pain, like, go check yourself.
Say something.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what's so awesome and beautiful about what you just said? That goes for regular. That's great advice for just a regular situation. You should know your boundaries, know your limits, know yourself, get to know yourself, especially at the age you're at. And the fact that you know that and can vocalize that, I'm really impressed by you. So
14 years old, she's learned a lot, man.
Yeah.
This kid's really impressed me because this disease set her up to fail. It really did. Yeah. I've seen how normal kids don't have these issues per se. Yeah. And they act like they can't get through a day without doing, certain things. I'm not going to say what, but, with her, it's like she puts up with the pain. She deals with it just like her mother does. She pushes through. When I'm not at home, when I'm at work, I always tell her, hey, kid, I need you to look after your mom for me, while I'm gone. And she does that, and she's come a long way because I remember before, like, she would not know what to do. She used to panic. But now we talk to her every day. And that's another thing, parents, talk to your kids.
Yes.
Talk to your kids. They know more than you think. And be that leading example because her mother did that for her very well. And then that's how she turned out. She's a very caring person, pays attention, knows her body, knows her limitations. And for any other families who will be dealing with this, you're going to have doctors that are going to make you feel like you're crazy and you don't know what you're talking about. And if you're not satisfied with what they tell you, go find a second and third or fourth opinion because I'm going to just put this out there. We took my daughter to her first gynecologist and she was not comfortable with her at all.
Yeah.
And the crazy part about it is, and this just is fun with some of these doctors out here. Some people, this ain't their first rodeo. This is definitely not ours.
Yeah.
This lady thought that this was our first rodeo because everything she told us we had an answer for. And to the point where it looked like she was getting frustrated because she didn't know what to say. Yeah. And it was like my wife looked at me for the first time like, oh my God, he's been paying attention because I kind of raised up and I said, hey, just so you know, XYZ. And because usually I let her do all the talking. Right. Because I'm in the learning phase. Yeah. And I feel like one day I felt like such an a-hole because I was working a 48-hour shift. And I come home, take her to a doctor's appointment. I'm tired. I'm beat up. And I fall asleep in the doctor's office while the doctor was talking. And I felt so horrible because I didn't even realize I fell asleep. Yeah, that's when it's really bad. When you don't even know you did it. Sometimes you kind of cheating. Like, let me close my eyes for a minute. But when you don't even know and it's just like, oh, where'd that time go? She thought I was being negligent, but I had to explain to her, like, look, I worked a double at a very busy firehouse. And then I come home to her getting more no sleep. Yeah. But back to the doctor, it's like, this ain't our first rodeo. If you're telling us that's normal, and you don't believe that, don't do that. Yeah. Stop. Yeah. Because making people feel bad about something that they know they feel every single day, that also could raise the suicide rate. Yeah. Because you already expect it from family members. They don't know. Right. But doctors, it's like you have it, just like firemen, you have a duty to try to make the situation better, even if it's just with words. I'm not sitting inside anybody's body or knowing what they have going on. So, I have to take what you say as what it is. And, the only time, I was going to say, the only time we know a patient ain't
doing what they're supposed to do is the old hand drop test. But we won't even talk about what that is.
Right,
but
right.
If you know what that is, then
you know.
Then you know what that is.
You know, right.
Okay. Well, like I said, again, we're going to put up everything on our website where you can donate, where you can find out more information. Maybe this has affected someone in your life and you don't even know that it's going on in their life. It's always great to be able to do homework and do some research of your own. And when we say research, well, not we. When I say research of your own, I'm not talking about going and Googling and searching for what you want to see and having cognitive dissonant conversations with yourself, just looking for something that's going to tell you the sky is green just because you think it's green. I mean, really do research from multiple sources and get some information. That's kind of the best way to go about that. So, Dekalb.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna try it one more time. Say it for me first.
Xianili.
Xianili.
There it is.
Okay. And I'm going to just call you Kathy because that's what he did. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for coming again. And until the next time we pop up, thanks for listening. Bye.